So today I did a full TDX with Ben, who passed his TDX in 2017. And that was the lay, and this is the run image from my Garmin watch. So you can see he cut a few places, but overall he did really well. It was 3 hours and 20 minutes old. When I laid it, it was cold and the grass was wet at 8 in the morning, about 11 degrees Celsius. And when I ran it, it was about 21 Celsius and it was bone dry. So this is his start. And he makes a left turn coming up. I did a little editing just to shorten it because there's a long leg that goes along the seniors' residence here. And it's nice, long, lush grass. So he had a really good start. And I tuned back in about when we're coming up to an acute angle, a very gentle acute. So there he goes. All right, so here we are now. We've gone through the long grass. We've transitioned to short grass up on a hill, and right about at that post, I went off to about 1 o'clock. Just to make sure I got the right amount of meters in for this track. Because it's a good little field, but you have to go up and down a bit, so I want to make sure the legs are spaced out. So he's looking for that acute angle, and I don't know if the cars are disturbing scent up on that hill at all. There could be some scent movement just because it's up on the hill after 3 hours. So he circled a couple of times. This was his first circle. And then he circled another time, and then he went. So it was originally, he did this in 18 minutes. So it was originally 18 minutes long, and I've managed to whittle it down to just over 12. So his first article is coming up just ahead, and I used 3 different types of leather articles because I have no idea what they'll use in the test. So the first one is a black leather glove, small black leather glove. Ben is 12 years old. And there he is. Got a glove there.
Wow!
Good boy. So I gave him some water.
Very good!
Because it was warm. Just not much, just to wet his lips. And off we go. So about 30 or 35 meters after this glove is a left turn to go back downhill.
I just noticed when I went to start this that it was off.
And when I was first training Ben in 2011, 2012 for TD and just teaching him foundations, he actually learned in this field. But he hasn't been in it for years. So you can see his body's wavering and he's almost turned left once. He sort of looks at me like, "Are you watching? I think I'm at a turn." And you can see the body language. It's all saying left because of the way their noses work. He's taking in that scent from the left side. Now he's overshot a little, so he says, "Yep, coming back." And off we go, and he is dead on there. Dead on. I try to give him as much line and loose line as I can on these tracks, so that even though I know where it's going, I play out the line and I want to see him making the decisions. So I try to incorporate a lot of different features on this. I don't have any good fields really to train in, so I make use of what I can. And so I try to go uphill, downhill, past trees, things like that, or near a marsh, short and long. This field does have ruts in it, which any hay field would have. So here he's going across the ruts, and they're kind of dragging him a bit this way and that, but he's working his way along. And then for some reason here, he wanted to veer off to the right. And I was looking to see how far away is that next article, but it's nowhere near us, way down where you see that bush. And then for some reason, he dismissed that direction, and he's coming back the right way. And this is a really rough little area that I thought might approximate a road cross of some kind. Really short veg, lots of tire tracks that he has to cross. So he's moved a bit to the left here. The wind is actually coming at us here. I don't know what that would do in this instance, but he sniffs through the bushes, which probably have trapped a little bit of scent from when I walked by 3 hours earlier. You can see I just give a lot of line, drop it, so he can do his thing. And I just inch along behind him. He started out as a footstep tracker, so he's really dedicated to being on the track, but I've given him more freedom over the years to do what he wants to do and needs to do to find his way. So here, he's taken a right turn, and at first I wasn't sure. I looked up ahead to see my landmark, and I wasn't 100% sure, but he sure is looking good. And then he starts picking up speed, and I got a little bit closer, and yes, he's dead on. It's kind of that gap way up there in the trees. And then there's an open angle turn where there's an orange chip bag embedded in the lawn to our left. And he actually had to make a circle and go look at that chip bag. But I've edited that part out. It was just a circle down, checked out the chip bag, came back, and made his open angle turn a little bit late. So here he is coming up on the open angle. And I'm thinking, I hope he hits the article, which is in line with that post, more or less, up there. And you can see him coming back over to the track. And there it is. And that's just a little wee square of very supple leather.
Good boy.
Ben used to lie down for article indications, but now that he's 12 and as he got older, I just stopped asking for it. So he just turns and looks at me. And I actually quite like that because we've upped the ante on all kinds of other things, age and distance.
Nicely placed articles.
So I
Here, come on.
bargain with him. I'll give up on this if you give me that. So now he's going dead on, but at some point here he starts bending and cutting, which you may have seen in the Garmin watch image for his run track. And it's a big curve here. I actually went all the way up to the change in grass between yellow and green. He's cutting a corner, not a lot, but he's just making a big curve. And I realized what's happening is that the scent is over 3 hours, has come and settled in some of these ruts. I thought I was being really smart walking along the change of grass, because that was an edge. But I do think there's turbulence along the top of that berm, and he almost came up to where I walked, and then he decided that the rut was a better bet.
See how it's come downhill and into these ruts.
And you can see he's not 100% convinced, but he's going the right way, and within about 20 steps or so. All good. And close to the marsh grass down there, I made a left turn that was a tiny bit of an acute because I didn't want to walk through the marsh grass. And then he'll be turning back into the wind. You can see him pick up speed. There's his leg. But he wants to come and check because that scent is spread around with turbulence at the corner. So he goes up a little. And he does this quite a bit. He likes to make circles around me. And he's off. This was into the wind, But the pattern of the cut on this grass is a weird angle. And I tried to walk in a straight line.
Oh, yeah.
So
good boy.
all the way down this leg now, he's fighting with the angle of the ruts.
Dead on.
But he keeps readjusting. It's just so beautiful to watch. I don't know if Ben thought it was beautiful. But he does a really nice job, and we're not in a rush. I like his pace for 12. I thought I was going to lose Ben last year. Got into something and his liver had some major problems. And amidst other things, liver tonic and different diet and that sort of thing, he also had dental surgery and had some infected molars and other teeth removed, and he's been just like a puppy after that dental surgery.
You can see him working.
And that's very important to their tracking health.
One more right turn coming up.
And I wasn't sure about the surgery, but all his blood panels just looked like a normal old dog. So whatever his liver did, it healed. So you can see he's kind of moving over along those ruts, and he's off the line, getting closer to it, but just steadily moving in the right direction here. And there's a turn coming up. All these little dirt piles were my landmarks, and you can see his body wavering. And he knows he's at a turn. He's just finding it. And he's at the last 50 meters of this track. So as I'm following him, I'm wrapping and coiling up the line just to help him stay on track. Right at the end is a horrible place to let them surf around with a ton of long line. So if he needs it, I can tighten up that line just to give him a bit of support to get to the end. He smells it, he knows it's there, and he's just working this area. You can see me coiling up the line, shorter and shorter, because it saves his energy too at this point. So it helps him just to feel a little bit of line tension to go ahead and get to that glove. And there it is.
What?
TDX boy.
What did you find?
Good job, Ben.
Ben.
He's an alternate in a test coming up for a master's title, but we're just having fun together. We may or may not get in, but that's okay. He doesn't have anything to prove.
Good job!